Hey everybody, Dave here at Berkeley Country Club, and we are once again back in the film room. This month we've got Nick Clark here with us, member here at BCC. Nick, welcome.
Thank you.
Um, Nick, we jumped in, caught you on the back nine of a good round that you had going. And first, give us a little bit of background real fast. What kind of handicap are you, Nick?
I am a volatile handicap. I'm anywhere from a 6 up to maybe an 11 or so. Lately, it's been more around nine-ish or so, 8 or 9.
Okay, good, good. And you played other sports growing up, right?
Yeah, yeah, mostly soccer and a lot of tennis. So
Any
some racket sports.
Okay. Any injuries?
Yeah,
Nip,
yeah,
hips, kind
yeah.
of
No,
knees?
I've broken probably a dozen bones. 3 knee surgeries, shoulder surgery. So
Okay.
I've used my body.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
good. Good, good. Awesome. So we know you're an athletic person, and let's just get into it, okay? So here we are. We're on hole number 10. We catch you after coming off a really good front nine, I believe, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was yeah, I think the first 7 holes, green and regulation, 2 putt pars, and then 2 birdies.
Okay.
It was going great until I met y'all.
Until we showed up. Perfect.
Yeah.
So we're gonna kind of see how you perform under pressure. So your T-ball, you hit a pretty decent one down the left side here on number 10. You hit a good approach shot, I thought. Good layup shot. Not sure if you were going for the green or not, but you still had a 240, 45-yard shot. But you left it in a great position here. Um, on this shot, you were kind of hitting a little pitch shot back into the green. It was a super difficult pin location. It was just up on the top tier, knowing how fast the greens were rolling that day. Walk me through what you were thinking here. What were we trying?
Yeah, so the green was on the back. I did not realize it was a little bit further back from kind of the top of that mound, and so I
Yep,
didn't know I had any room to work with. So I was trying to just land it on the front of the green and let it roll up a bit. So I was
yep.
hitting with I think a 56 here. I'm gonna try
56.
and keep
Okay.
it a little low and
Yeah.
get a little roll out of it.
Good, good. And the thing that I love is you just kind of walked me through the shot, and the really good thing about that shot was you executed it almost to perfection. Came up just a tad short, I believe, of the ridge, but you had a good look at birdie here. Not an easy putt again, right? Maybe knowing, hey, get it over that ridge, and it's a little bit easier putt, but hey, you're coming off of a good front nine. You go ahead, another green in regulation, and thought
I,
maybe
I,
it was going to be a
I
little fast.
respected the speed. Yeah, I respected the speed a little bit too much, I think. I was a little scared of
Yeah,
blasting it past the hole.
of course, yeah. But all in all, I think with that whole location and where you ended up with your after your third shot, a good par walking away there. So then you're on to number 11 here, and first thing that I saw it on number 10 with the tee shot. Here you can kind of see how your feet are, down the left side, aimed down maybe down the left side, but then your shoulders are way left, opened up a little bit. And if we could go ahead and roll that, and we can see kind of how you stand up out of that shot, right, and kind of hit a little flare out there. Now, good news, right? I'm always looking at good news is it's not a long hole. You hit a little flare out to the right. You've got a good angle back to the hole now, so all good things. 150-yard shot here. You're set up. I think it's out of the rough. Yeah, out of the rough there. And with uphill lie, something just to keep in mind, keep in the back of your mind. Uphill lies, it's always harder to get to your left side and or your forward side. So as we go along here, we're going to see a common occurrence of you having difficulty getting to that left side. So that uphill lie, gravity's working against you. You almost have to make yourself transfer to that left side. So something to keep in the back of your mind. But we ended up tugging that that one a little bit, came over the top a little and got it down there in the bunker. But here you are, you hit a good bunker shot, almost scared the hole a little bit. But knowing that you had that little backstop, it was a great shot. And again, you leave yourself with about a 10-foot, 9-foot par putt to try to continue that streak. And
I did not.
well, so again, the good thing here is I think that you hit it on the line that you were looking, right?
Yep.
We thought that it was going to break down to the left a little bit, but it just actually hung out there. That was a good flip over by Z. That was pretty sweet.
He owed me for hitting me with his golf club.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. That was a little shot to the noggin. So walking away with a
That's why my round went so poorly.
I forgot about that. I did. Yeah, that was a little different noise. I don't know if, but knock on wood, never heard that noise before. So I'm glad you're okay though.
Thank you.
So after a bogey, you get to the one of our toughest holes, almost I'd say, on the golf course, and par 3. 180 back into the wind a little bit. What club were you swinging here?
I think I took a little extra club. I think I hit a 5.
5-iron?
Yeah.
Okay. And you hit a pretty solid one, just a little bit left, I think, but it caught the mound or the left side of the green and scooted right back there. It was a great shot. Yeah, you had 15, 20 feet left for a birdie, and again, you hit another good putt, and just kind of grazed past the hole.
I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah, anytime you can walk away with a par on that hole is a good day. But yeah, no, that was a really good hole. So then here we are in number 13. You're set up again a little bit down the left side, and forget where you hit it down the left side on this one, I think.
Yeah, I think I hit it poorly, but I think it worked out fine.
Yep.
That was kind of the theme of the back.
Yeah. And that's the game of golf, right? You're on a heater coming off of the front, and you're only one over through or a couple holes on the back, and yeah, how do you play your misses, right? So this the tee ball was a little bit of a miss, and then on this one you could see how far.
We can skip this one if you want.
I don't know what's going to happen here, but you could see how far right you. Whoops. I've done it. We've all done it. I love the look back though. It was classic.
What y'all can't see is I took another one just to try and get a better shot for the video, and I did the same thing again. So
consistency is important in golf. So no, but hey, this was the next shot, and then anybody standing over this shot off of the hard pan after what they just did, you pulled off a great shot. You hit a good one. The setup was a little bit better on that one rather than the last shot, and you hit it up there, and again, you give yourself a good opportunity at making a saving a par. And again, I think it was just the read on this one, because you kind of hit the ball where you were looking, and you just squeaked around the side of it.
Yeah, some of these longer ones, I'm just happy to get a 2-putt and get out.
Exactly. What's your focus on the longer putts? What would you say? Are you looking primarily at the line? Or are you looking primarily at distance? What's important to you?
I mean, lately, I feel like I've been putting pretty well, and I've tried to just turn my head off, and so it's just getting a gut feel for what I think the line looks like generally, and then it's just about pace. Yep. And so if I'm gonna miss, close and get an easy 2-putt, and if I'm gonna make it, then great. But I'm happy with the 2-putt.
No, I love that thought process. Thinking you're super athletic. We know that. Knowing that speed is the most important rather than direction when coming down to putting, in my opinion. And like you said, you get your right speed, you could be 2 feet off on line, and you only have a 2 foot putt left, right, to finish up. So that's great. No,
I mean, we'll see a few putts later where I do not get the speed right, but I try.
yeah, that's okay. So here we are on 14, and this is when we get it going a little bit sideways after that last drive. Same kind of drive, right? You can see how you're up and out of the shot. So there's the top of your backswing. You get it coming back down, and we're not rotating that lower body enough. And what has to happen is you have to stand up out of the shot in order to get that club back to the ball. And so what happens when you stand up out of the shot, you're going to catch it on toe a little bit, and that little flip over to the left side of the golf course happens. So, and like you just emphasized there, you can feel how you're kind of hanging back, right?
Yeah.
So how do we get through the shot? I think by rotating that left hip out of the way is going to help. Feeling possibly getting your right shoulder over your front foot at the end of your swing is a good way to transfer that weight over. So there's a couple little things that we can think about with the in swing to try use your power. We know how strong you are. You want to use it, right? You want to use it from the ground up and get the ball going in the direction that you're looking. So. So here we are with your second shot on 14. We're over in the left-hand rough, 200 yards left, and that's a difficult shot coming out of the rough. But I think you hit a good shot there to get yourself back in play and giving yourself the opportunity to try to make an up and down. And on this little pitch shot, you could see how far right you're aimed. So I think, again, alignment is going to be a big thing for you. As you close your stance down, it becomes harder for you to rotate with the lower body and get cleared, right? So that's something that we're going to kind of watch in your swing. And you hit a good shot here. Those that don't know, this is a two-tiered green. You hit right up at the crest and it rolled right back down to the front.
Make sure to get the next one up though.
So this next putt is the one where the speed thing comes into play. Now, granted, you're going up a big mound, so it is a little bit harder to judge. But you left yourself about 5 or 6 feet, and then just cozied one down, and that's we get a little scared, hit it tentatively, and it again just didn't break the way that or we were aiming a little bit too far left there, but that's okay. Here you are onto 15, and you hit. I think this one here you hit pretty solid, just a little bit of a tug, right?
Yep.
But you can see, you can see how you're just popping up out of that shot a little bit too early. And then but again, a good miss. You kept it in play. You're on the golf course, unlike me where I hit it all over. Only have 94, 95 yards to another difficult pin over on the right-hand side. But you missed it on the left-hand side, giving yourself the best angle back to the pin, which is good. And you got one up there on toward the front of the green, just over the ridge. And so you're putting for birdie, and here we go. We're going back up. However, it's hard to tell in the video. Anything past the pin, it rolls away from you. So kind of giving you the benefit of a doubt on this one, and you cozied this. I don't know. You had 20 feet.
I did not cozy it.
You cozied it up to about 5 or 6 feet. And
I think before I put this, Dave, we were playing a little best ball match, and I think Dave was sure to remind me how fast it was.
Yeah, going up the hill.
Yep,
I was trying to get in my opponent's head.
It did.
But,
Yeah.
this you were just getting it to the right distance. That's all.
Yes, practice my
Poured,
five
poured that
putters.
one right in. I wasn't gonna give it to you. I've seen you putt before.
Hey,
No. So, all right. So here we are on 16, where 3 over on the back nine. You're holding it together really well. I think we've missed a handful of shots. You're playing with pressure that you've maybe never played with before, coming off of a front nine that you played really well. You were 2 under at the turn. Now the cameras show up. We're going to do this film, so there's more eyes on you. And I think that you're doing a good job of working with the misses that you had. So here's a gettable par five with your length. The first step is obviously getting it in play, right? And you hit a great drive. I think it was one of the better drives that you hit while I was out there with you. Um, you know, it was just a foot into the rough, but again, it was a back right pin. You've got it in the rough, uphill, 190 to 200 yards, and I think you said you hit a 5 iron here and you smashed it.
yep.
And it ends up just a little bit left of the green, which isn't a bad leave, because now you've got a lot of green to work with. And this is where it kind of gets a little sideways. So I think just recognizing the situation that you're in, you could see the flag. The wind was to your back, so you were hitting it straight downwind. Couple ways you could play this shot, right? You can throw it up into the air, land it short of the pin and let it just trickle back there. You can hit like a little bump and run, and the wind is going to take the ball on the green. And once it gets to the top of that little crest there onto the green, everything is running away from you, right? So we had the downwind effect working. We had the green running away from us. And what'd you hit here? 56
I think it is
or
60.
60?
I
Okay,
think some of the color on it is the past 3 or 4 times I've had this same situation. I've left it way short. And I was
sure.
like, don't leave it short. And I didn't. And
You didn't leave it short. You found the center of the club face on that one.
I did.
That
I did.
was
Cured it.
that
Cured it.
was that was okay. But you could see how everything just tends to run away. Coming out of the rough, we know we weren't going to have a lot of spin. Um, but so we hit it over, and then we're hitting back into the wind now, and probably hit the same club. So you get it back on the green, and this one was a good putt. Your putting was good.
Not
I
bad.
thought that you putted really well. So you escaped, with the par. Um, and here you are on to number 17, and as we all know, it was a front right pin, not an easy hole location. So you could see no weight transfer. Ball goes left, little bit of a pull into a really difficult position. So now we're up on the side hill, hitting it straight back downwind, downhill. Different ways to play this shot. We thought that flying the ball onto the green so it didn't hit the downhill was the best opportunity to get the ball to stop closest to the hole. That downhill lie is going to take a little bit of loft off, and it just kind of hit there in the front and just trickled by the hole and just kept on going, which was difficult. And then we get a putt coming off the fringe. Maybe
Murdered
hit it a little bit firm.
it. Yeah.
This is where the speed thing comes into play.
Every now and then. Every now and then.
Yeah, exactly. So even on that putt, you could see you're up and out of the shot early, right? Your head went with the putter, loss of posture, left it out a little bit to the right.
I think
So
I was
that's one
starting to
thing
get
that I
a
would
little dejected at that point. So
definitely no
I
no
was
no
just walking to pick it up and move on.
yeah, I hear you. I hear you. So okay, so here we are on to 18. Again, not a bad score at all, right? Considering what you did on the front, and you're just trying to hold on, and you get. I thought that you didn't hit this shot bad, but that that posture up and out of a little bit, and just leaked off to the right, kind of kicked down the hill a little bit on you. But again, good news is you've got a clear shot into the green. Yes, it's a difficult shot hitting it back up the hill. But again, we thought that you hit a good shot here. Just maybe a little bit more elevation than what we thought, and it kind of came down out of the sky pretty fast.
Yeah, when it
Um,
came off, I thought I hit it perfect, and then it just
yeah,
the wind I think killed it.
yeah, and I was sitting up there by the rough up to your left, and it sounded like you hit it well.
Yeah.
Um, just kind of fell out of the sky pretty fast, like you said, got it up in air, and the wind hit it. And then here you are, side hill lie, or uphill lie, excuse me. I thought you hit a great chip here. Number one thing, knowing how much green you had past the hole. Lots of times we'll see people try to get too cute and then leave it short and then have the same kind of chip, right? But here you executed a really good shot, hit down and through it, gave it a little extra. You get it past the hole, about 10 feet or so, and then yeah, then you just kind of rolled this one in. That was a really good putt to
Yeah,
save a par.
it felt good. It felt good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, after the last few putts and shots, you know, to walk away with a par, and you end up shooting, you know, 5 over, whatever, 41 on the front with, you know, a 34 on the back, or excuse me, 41 on the back and a 34 on the front. It was a great round. And you know, it's hard, in my opinion, when you get a good score on the front and you know you've got it going, and then people show up and it's like, oh no, what are we doing? And but you kept it together and you played your misses really well. I thought you didn't let anything except for maybe the 16th hole really get out of control, right? And you know, you did well. I think some of the posture things, alignment A is going to be big for you. Um, Not being so closed down, getting your shoulders and your feet and knees all aligned in the same direction, I think is going to be big. That way, that's going to help with trying to get through the shot with your lower body to clear to your left side so that you can get back into the ball, and keep or maintain a good posture, which is going to be super helpful for you. But all in all, I think you did really, really well. What kind of questions do you have for me, Nick?
Um. So I watched the video after the round. So you know it felt super awkward hitting the ball, and I know I scrambled to not make it a complete disaster, but it just
Yeah,
felt bad the whole time. And
yeah,
so I was watching the video and I was like, oh God, I don't know. I didn't realize I stood up that badly.
yeah,
And so I guess, well, I mean, I immediately went to the range the next day and I was like, all right, I'm going to force myself not to do that,
yeah.
which, limited success. Do you have any tips for, I guess, what you mentioned my left side clearing. Is that
Mhm.
why I'm standing up because it's getting stuck, or am I too inside, or like what's going on?
Yeah, so the proper sequence, you know, is we need to release that lower body, get the hip out of the way in order to maintain the posture that you have at setup, really, right? So I think something that would be beneficial for you is actually setting up the opposite way. So rather than having a closed stance with your feet, feel as if you're open, or you can even flare your lead foot a little bit open to help jumpstart your lower body, right? And then let the club follow the lower body or your torso through the hitting zone rather than, you know, stalling with the lower body and throwing your upper body at the ball, right?
Yep.
Because a lot of your swing is from the upper body, you know, your shoulders. So your sequence was off a little bit that day, and I think that is really what gave you that feeling of feeling out of control and not really swinging like the swing we know. Well, you were probably swinging on the front nine, and what we know
Yeah.
you've done in the past.
Well, I guess maybe one other question. So, uh, yeah, I do notice that when I start to get tense or I'm thinking about too much, the lower body just is kind of, it goes on a vacation and it
Yep,
doesn't really want to move.
yep.
Do you have any tips for, and that causes me to miss hit it, which causes me to be more tense, which cause, it's a cascading effect.
Steamboat. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any tips for how to try and turn my head off if I find myself in a situation where I'm thinking about too much,
Yeah, that's a great question.
besides alcohol or something?
Yeah, I would revert back to a routine, right? Keeping the same routine that you have, whether it's, taking a practice swing, setting up to the ball and swinging. Um, Me personally, I like to stand behind the ball, take my practice swing behind the ball. Once I get to the ball and I get set, I'm pulling the trigger 5 seconds into me standing over the ball. And the only thing that I'm thinking about is where my target is. And I feel like I'm swinging to my target rather than, okay, I know my hips aren't working. I've got to think about swinging with or releasing my lower body. And Dave said to get my shoulder over my front foot. And, I've got to keep my head down. The more and more we start thinking when we're over the ball or in swing, typically the worse the shot's going to be, right? So I think setting up and going through a routine, it's, for instance, any great players, tennis players, basketball players, when Steph Curry is, you know, um, shooting a free throw, I guarantee he's doing the same exact thing every single time standing on the free throw line, right? LeBron James does the same thing, all those top athletes. And I'm sure you're a great tennis player. I'm sure that you have the same kind of routine when you're getting ready to serve. You might bounce the ball 3 or 4 times, pick up the racket, throw it up, and hit it. That's what we want to get into to reduce the stress and the thinking when we're standing over the ball. All those sports are reaction sports, or the majority of them. Golf isn't necessarily a reaction sport unless you're on maybe the 11th tee box and Z might catch you in the noggin.
Oh
Um,
man, yeah,
but you have all the time in the world to think over a shot, and that's kind of how we have to, you know, untune our brain. Have 1 or 2 thoughts during your setup through your routine. Stand over the ball, pull the trigger. That's the best advice, I think, to get yourself out of your own conscious. Definitely.
got
Yeah.
it. Awesome, awesome.
All right, Nick, that was awesome. Another, 5 over, 3 over on the whole round overall. I think you really did great. There's a lot of good things there, and I'm proud of the progress that you've been making. Good
I
job.
appreciate it. Thank you, Dave. And it was a great time.
Good.
I play golf to have fun, and it's more fun when I play well. But I can still have fun when I'm learning. So it's great.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Awesome. Well, keep at it, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks.